We'll start with the issue around the Forex market, where we see Naira making a very huge leap there against major currencies of the world. We see Naira gaining about 127 Naira, of course, against the US dollar in the parallel market. There, of course, quite a lot of impressive performance there, and Nigerians are indeed looking forward to see whether these gains will be sustained. Let's talk to one of the Forex trader. There is the Zonal Secretary, North Central of Association of ABCON, Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, ABCON. Talking about Ibrahim Tanimu. He joins me via phone from Kaduna. Good morning, Tanimu.
Good morning.
Yeah, we've seen impressive performance there by the Naira in recent times. Now, tell us, why are we seeing this at this time of the year?
Okay. It has to do with the recent introduction of electronic Forex exchange matching system by the CBN, and this system it encourages transparent transactions, whereby all the transactions will be digitalized, and that is the reason why we this system is a sudden outcome of the effect of the introduction of the FMs.
Indeed.
And as I said, it makes the transactions transparent. Unlike before, where there are a lot of transactions that are being carried out under the cover, so it now exposes the market open. This, especially when you notice now, the commercial banks now have a lot of liquidity. Secondly, the surge in the external reserve also. As you know, Nigeria gained more in the external reserve, above $40 billion. So these are the things that makes the Naira appreciate.
So for you talk about the eFirm there, talking about a new platform that the CBN introduced. How conversant are you people operators with that system?
Well, for now, it's a new thing. Of course, it will take time for all the operators to be conversant with it. But what I will tell you is that it's transparent. It opens the transactions.
All right. Talking about that, there's a statement from your president. He did say that there's a pushback by speculators there with regards to the current gains of Naira.
Of course, yes. You know, as I said, the new system, a lot of people are not conversant with it because it is new. So there is people have to back up a little bit to see how it is going to work out.
All right. Talking about that now, Naira gained 127 Naira there in the market there from the position it were 1,660 on Monday. Yes. There we see a very improvement there. How long do you think this can be sustained?
Well, this to me is not a permanent solution, and I don't know, but I don't think it will last long, because it depends on how the Apex Bank, the regulators, makes it work. How effective, it depends on how effective the regulators make the new system work.
Yeah, indeed, we hope that the regulator will make it work properly as well. Well, looking at your experience, you are a very senior Forex trader. You are the Zonal Secretary of ABCON. We've seen this kind of recovery before, but at the end of the day, of course, everything go back to normal. Do you see this one going back to normal, especially because this is a festive period? The demand for Naira, especially for Nigerians abroad coming home, is very high.
Yes. You see, the real issue regarding value of any currency is production by the country. how productive we are. This is, to me, this is a kind of short-term solution to the recent value of Naira. But the main solution for our currency to have value is we have to be productive. We have to be productive, and production cannot take place without basic infrastructures such as constant electricity and a very good roadwork for transportation of goods and services from one place to another. So this is the main thing, and this is what I believe will make the currency stable. Well, this is also good, but I see it as a short-term or I can say medium-term solution to it.
Quite a whole lot you said there. We need to go into production for us to be able to get our currency to be stable. We need to produce and export to earn foreign exchange to support the Naira there as well, like you rightly pointed out now. Let's look at the role that you play now. You deal with the retail segment of the market. Of course, the demand for dollar is very high, especially for Nigerians that are traveling abroad, for Nigerians that are importing different raw materials from abroad as well. How are you able to meet up with this demand, given the fact that accessing this money in the bank is the process is very, very rigorous?
Yeah, you see, the issue of demand, it has to do with the law of demand and supply. And as I said, the petrol is our major source of FX in this country. We need to diversify to have more. And another thing, on the other hand, is that the country is too dependent on the importation. So these are the two factors that affect the value and the stability of our currency.
And talking about the value that determines the stability of our currency, as we speak now, Naira is one of the weak currency in West Africa. Of course, before now, Naira was stronger than CFA and so many other currencies, but today Naira is the weaker, and of course this is also affecting the demand of Naira. Before, if you go to Ghana with Naira, you can indeed buy whatever you want to buy in Ghana and indeed come back, but now even our West African neighbors are beginning to reject our currency. So what do we think we should do to strengthen the Naira?
Well, honestly, we need stability in all our system, economically and socially, security-wise. As it is now, many parts of, as I said, we are not producing enough to match up with where we are supposed to be. The Francophone countries we just mentioned, in terms of infrastructures now, they have more electricity, more than Nigeria. There is more security in those countries now, more than Nigeria, because of the security challenges, especially in the northern part of the region. So this really affects the value of our currency, because the people will not be able to be productive as they should be. So that is it. And then Nigeria is a very huge country. There is excessive importation, and that also makes the high demand. And whenever there is high demand, of course, the rate will go up.
Indeed. Let's talk about your relationship with CBN now. How are you in terms of inclusive policies? Are you part of those, when CBN is making policies, do they consult some of your members? Because your president is saying that the only way we can indeed get things to work properly is to create a framework to ensure stability, and that framework must include BDC operators.
Yes. Yeah, you see, the new guideline that the CBN recently, mid last year, came up with is too high to the BDC sector, honestly, especially when the fixed deposit amount required 500 million and then for tier 2 and 2 billion for tier 1 BDC. This is on the high side. A BDC is supposed to be a small-scale company. All over the world, these BDCs, the demand and the process of getting the license is not as high as this particular one. So, and then again, even though they have extended the deadline, they have added another 6 months. But it's very difficult for our members and average Nigerians to meet up. So we appeal with them to reason, and then let's have we should come together. The ABCON should be included and give an input so that a lot of people, because by the end of 6 months, they say the existing license now that are operating, if one is unable to upgrade, will be cancelled. And that means a lot of people will be out of business. Only few will be able to meet up with those guidelines. So it will affect the economy negatively, honestly.
Indeed. Do you think, you talk about the recapitalization of BDCs now, do you think the CBN move is aimed at sanitizing the market to get some of you that are very serious to be, the big player in the market?
But sanitizing the market does not mean that you require that high volume amount of money. For one to, the sanitizing of market it has to do with interface between all the parties, the regulators and the operators. Consistent sanitization, working together. But in a situation whereby this recapitalization of this huge amount of money, I assure you that many of us will not be able to meet up with that high amount of money. So I appeal with them to reason and then let them review the recapitalization guidelines.
All right. Since you're talking about reviewing the recapitalization guideline, I'm sure the CBN indeed is listening to you, and of course your members and of course your executive may have tendered your request before the CBN before that extension of 6 months. Do you still want more extension after the 6 months?
Well, it's not really about the extension. The most important thing is that to review the recapitalization guidelines is on the high side. Many of us cannot be able to meet up. That is the major problem. If the 6 months, if they review it, a lot of us will key in and be able to meet up. But the main issue now, it has to do with the recapitalization.
Indeed, the recapitalization exercise there is indeed a major concern, not just to the BDCs operators alone, but even to the banks. The commercial banks are also facing similar problems. We see a lot of them going to the stock markets there to raise public offers there, as the case may be. We hope that the CBN will indeed listen to some of your complaint there. And let's talk about speculators now in the market now. The markets appear very weak, as we talked about, and of course the supply is very, very huge now, as you talked about earlier. Are we likely going to see, when this season is over, or I don't know whether the season is going to be over, when this season is over, are we going to likely see in Naira, going back to the status quo, or because as it is right now, we're seeing a lot of appreciation?
Yeah, honestly, if care is not taken, to me, it depends on how they implement this new introduction of this new policy of electronics. It depends on how effective they implement it. As I said, it's more of a mid-term solution to the value of the
Let's see how CBN can discourage speculators. How do you think CBN, which measure do you think they should apply to discourage speculators, who are mostly the reason why we see Naira not stable?
Mm. The issue of speculators is, of course, is always there, but it has to do. It depends on how the CBN and the regulators and the operators put their heads together and work out, come up with modalities on how to address this issue of speculators.
All right. As we try to wrap up the conversation now, quite a whole lot has happened in the FX markets in the last 18 or 20 months, if you agree with me. But at less than 400 or 500 Naira, as it were, as of today, we are talking about 1516 to the dollar. Do you see us ever going back to that rate of 400 or even 500 Naira?
As I always say, it depends on how the regulators work it out. You see now, we used to bid once in a week, like for the past 5-6 months. But since then now, we have not bidded for a quite long time, and that means there is shortfall of liquidity in the system, and that will also affect the rate. So I pray the CBN continue with the bidding. At least it will cushion the effect of this volatility in the market.
What about, let me ask you this, what about the CBN supply to BDCs? How consistent is it? We understand about
That's what I'm telling. That's what I told you. It's not consistent. For the past like 4 or 5 months now, we have not bidded. Yeah, that is the CBN intervention. And then, which means there is shortfall of liquidity in the market, and that will affect the rate.
Indeed, in the absence of CBN supply, which other sources do you get your supply from?
Supply comes in from customers, working customers, and then multinational companies and oil companies. But even as it is now, they are not forthcoming. They are not really patronizing the market as it should be.
Indeed. What about diaspora's remittances? Is it in any way impacting on your businesses?
You see, the diaspora too, of course, it comes and impacts in our business, but the diaspora remittance too is not consistent because of the inflation, the rate. So it's not really steady. Everything is steady. It will help in pushing up the effect of the skyrocketing of the value of the Naira.
Okay, finally, as I let you go now, what rate do you think Naira will end up by the end of December?
By the end of December? Well, the issue of rate, honestly, is unpredictable because we are economically dependent on other countries. I cannot be able to rightly tell you the rate. It has to do with a lot of factors. The law of demand and supply, and then the kind of policies the regulators put in place.
Indeed, everything or the box will stop indeed on the CBN table there, which is the chief regulator of the Nigerian banking and indeed other industries that is tied to it as well. There, I must thank you for your time, Ibrahim Tanimu, the Zonal Secretary, Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, ABCON, talking to us all the way from Kaduna, the northwest Nigeria. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. That was Tanimu Ibrahim there, the BDC's operator, expressing a lot of concerns there with regard to the current market. Of course, he is more concerned about how indeed the Central Bank of Nigeria can work with the BDC's operators, especially the licensed one, and of course some of the big one among them, to ensure that we have a stability in the Forex market. Don't forget, the volatility in the FX market is indeed a very big problem for the larger economy, because once you have FX volatility. It affects how your inflation rates move as well. So we're seeing that relationship not really, very good for the larger economy there. Indeed, a very good, not a very good one there. We hope that at the end of the day, we'll be able to get it right for the benefit of all Nigerians, which is indeed the ultimate goal of the CBN. Of course, we understand that the foreign reserves indeed has also gone up as well, which is also part of why we are seeing the movement of Naira, upward there against the United States dollar. So impressive performance for Naira in recent times. We hope that this momentum will indeed be sustained. We also call on the CBN to engage the operators consistently as possible to ensure that we have liquidity in the system. There is an agreement that the CBN will be supplying the BDC operators some amount of dollars every month. But like the Zonal Secretary did said since the last 5 months, they've not been able to access any FX from the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is the key regulator. So many of them had to depend on the working customers, big corporation, some multinationals, and of course, remittances from diasporas for them to be able to stay in business. So we hope that this issue will be addressed as well. We also look at the banks, the commercial banks, which is, play a very key role in FX management as well. You should be able to have a flexible processes and procedures for those who need FX to be able to access them also through the bank. That may also help in controlling the value of the Naira, and of course giving Naira the fair value. As many analysts have said, the current value of Naira is not a fair value. Many did say that the fair value of Naira is between 1,150 and 1,200. We hope that we'll be able to achieve that in the medium to long term. And that's how we'll wrap the business daily for today. Join me again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akowu.